Alright, so this is a video that's going to teach you how to restore drawings if your AutoCAD crashes. This is a very frustrating experience and you may think a lot of your work is lost forever. But fear not, we are going to run through a couple of options to see if some of your work can be recovered. So first things first, when your AutoCAD crashes, it's going to ask, typically it will ask you, do you want to attempt to save your changes? You say yes. Then when you open it up again, you'll see it'll say AutoCAD crashed in its previous session. Do you want to open the Drawing Recovery Manager? If it doesn't ask you that, I'll just close this so you can see. You can just type in Drawing Recovery. You have to open any, just click the plus button here so that you're in a drawing space. Then you open Drawing Recovery and you can see it's going to open this. Now you click this little plus button and it usually gives you 3 drawings. So what you look for is you click on each one, and what you're going to look for is the date and time that this last auto saved. Okay, so you can see this one says it was updated, it auto saved today at 11:10 a.m. This one was yesterday at 8:25 a.m. and that's the actual drawing that's in the file currently. So if you were to open that, all of the work that I have done today would be lost, right? This one also says yesterday at 6:15 a.m. So we want this one, right? So if for some reason these are not there, you can see that it also tells you the location, but if for some reason maybe you didn't save a drawing or maybe the autosave isn't there, the other thing you can do to check, because sometimes even this won't have all of your, even if you open this, it won't have all the work, right? So the second option, if this is not viable, if for some reason maybe it only has this one that was saved yesterday, here's the second step that you can do in order to try and get your work back. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to this PC, you're going to go to the C drive, C drive. Here you're going to go to Users. You're going to select your user profile that you use, and then you need to find the folder that's called App Data. Now, if you don't have hidden files and folders shown, you won't see this folder. So that means you'd have to go to View, and then you'd have to go see this Hidden Items here. It's probably different if you have Windows 11. You might have to type in Options right here and select Options that way. But you need to enable hidden files and folders being shown, okay, so that you can see this App Data folder. So then you go to App Data, you go to Local, and you find your temp folder. Okay, now your temp file is going to have all, like, look at this, look at all these files, right? So typically what I do, in order so I don't have to deal with all these files, is I sort it by the type. So I only want to see a BAK file, which is the back file that AutoCAD creates when it autosaves. And then what I usually do is I sort it by the date modified so that the most recent one is at the top. Now this is an older version. You can see on my AutoCAD it says this was dated 11:10, right? And it says it's in this folder, but this is a different type of file. This is see how this is not a back file, a BAK file? So this is a file that AutoCAD is letting me restore via the AutoCAD program. Whereas when you're dealing with the BAK files, those are actually back files. So I will go through the process of restoring a back file, even though I'm not going to use this. So first things first, before I even do that, I want to make sure that I get my file recovered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this most recent one because I want to make sure to save it, because this is not This is not a saved drawing here. This is an SVS or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you can see right here, and if I went, it's not a DWG, it's not a saved drawing file. So if you went to save, right, I didn't even go save as, I just hit save, and it's telling me to save as because this is not a DWG file currently. Okay, so I'm just going to overwrite the existing model because, like I said, that one wasn't modified until yesterday, since yesterday at 8:30 in the morning, and I don't need two models. This is the model that I want, and this was the model I was working in. It just crashed, right? I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, you can see we have these two files. This is the SV file that I have currently open, and this is the DWG that I was working on that crashed. When I save this SV as this drawing will disappear. So I'm going to say yes, right? Now I'm going to go back. So see how that SV drawing is no longer there? It's because we saved it as a DWG and it converted that SV back up into this. And so now we have the model that crashed and we didn't lose any of our work. Okay. I'm going to go back to the temp folder and I'm going to show you how to restore a back file if the drawing recovery method does not work. Okay, so let's say we didn't have that SV file that we just restored. Let's say that this was the most recent file. Okay, so you can see this is obviously find the drawing you were working in that crashed. You can see here's a bunch of names, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, you're going to say copy, and it's going to make a copy somewhere. Did that just make a copy? I don't know that made a copy. Okay, so I'm gonna do that again because I feel like it didn't oh, I'm being dumb. Sorry. Copy paste, obviously. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day. So you're gonna copy the back file and then you're gonna, don't forget to paste it. Okay, you're gonna paste it. Now, what's gonna happen is you cannot open this file. If you try to double click this, it's gonna ask you, how do you wanna open this? Because there's no application to open a back file. Right? So what you have to do is you have to rename it. So instead of it being a back file, we're going to write DWG because that's what AutoCAD recognizes and can open. So we're going to say, it's going to ask you if you want to change it. You say yes. It's going to disappear because remember, we only have back files selected currently. So if you want to see it, you can type, or you can hit DWG, just so you don't have to scroll down and try to find it and everything. And so now you can see right here, you're going to open this. Okay, and here we are. Here's your work. So I'm not going to save this because I already restored the copy that crashed and it was a more recent time. But if you didn't have that one to restore from the Drawing Recovery Manager, you would then do a save as for this one, and you would want to find the folder, obviously find the job that it belongs to, and CAD, and then exterior spiral, and then you would just do the same thing. So I would overwrite this one and I would push save. I'm not going to, obviously, but otherwise, what's going to happen is if you just started working, now you're working on a model that's still in the temp folder. It's not in the actual folder. It's not in the Dropbox. It's only on your computer in your temp file. So no one else has access to this, and maybe you might not even know where you ended up having it because you forgot that to save it out of your temp folder, right? So that's just a quick lesson on how to restore temporary files or back files if your AutoCAD does crash. Definitely check both options before you just redo all the work that you were doing before your AutoCAD crashed. So check the Drawing Recovery Manager. If you don't see, I like to check both because, sometimes the SV file is more recent, but also sometimes the back file date and time is more recent. So more work will be restored if you choose the back file, but you have to check both before you decide which one you want to recover, because whichever one is the most recent, that's going to be the one where you don't have to redo any work that may have been lost otherwise. Okay? All right, thank you.